Ladies and gentlemen, let's Red Game video. Let's discuss the whole Grand Theft Auto situation, shall we? There's a couple of angles I want to come at this. The first one is from the creators of GTA. That would be the chairman and CEO of the game, actually speaking out, Karl Slatoff. And then I want to read out some stuff regarding the woman herself who got this banned and the reason she, did it. And then I really want to discuss it in my own personal opinions. Now, I'm probably going to ramble a little bit, and hopefully it'll be fairly understandable. I am still a bit sick, but let's give this an attempt. So as many of you know, a major Australian retailer has of course pulled GTA from the shelves. And of course, now we've got Kmart and we've got Target who have completely and utterly removed it. So, Karl Slatoff from Take-Two has commented on this and said, well, if you don't like a piece of content, in this case GTA 5, if you find it offensive, then simply do not buy it. Which, to be honest, is kind of my perspective on this. If it's offensive to you, if you find it offensive, if you find the content not to your tastes, don't buy the game, don't watch it, don't participate in it, just ignore it. Now, he also makes the point that for a person or a group of people to make a decision for millions of others, in other words, a small minority to make a decision for huge amounts, we have 34 million who bought GTA, and if these folks had their way, none of those people would be able to buy Grand Theft Auto, and that's really just flies in the face of everything free society is based upon. It's the freedom of expression, and try and squelch that is dangerous and slippery slope. It's really more disappointing for us in regards to the content of a business, and the business is not going to be completely unaffected by this. It doesn't make a difference to us. At the end of the day, though, it's not something we want because it's a poor leadership decision. And this is true. It doesn't affect their sales. It really will not. For people who want this game, if you're a parent, right, and I'm not a parent, I don't really want kids if I'm totally honest, but let's just assume that, in some far-flung alternate reality, I wasn't a gamer, or my friend Bob is not a gamer, and, his kid asks them, hey, could you buy me Grand Theft Auto, and he's like 12 years old, and he goes into that store, and he sees that this is a rating for mature people. It doesn't take a genius to just take out your smartphone, do a very quick Google. Everyone's got smartphones now, or do a bit of research beforehand. Hang on, is this for kids? Okay, look at maybe a trailer on the internet. There's all over YouTube or whatever. Just do a little bit of research, Google it, whatever you need to do. Okay, this is probably not for little Jimmy. Probably won't get this for him. Or you can make the decision, hey, you know what? I think it's just a game. I'm going to buy it for him. That's your decision. You are supplying the game to a younger person. On the other hand, if you're an adult, then it's totally your decision whether you consume or enjoy that content. Now, the lady actually has a blog, or wrote an article on Daily Life, which is .com.au. And she says, the article title, in case I forget to link it, in case I chimp it, but she says, why I petitioned to have Grand Theft Auto 5 removed from Target. You can Google that if you need to. I should remember to link it, but if I do chimp it, then you know what to search for. Anyway, I won't read this whole thing out because it's quite lengthy, to be honest, but basically, this is the lady that got it pulled. As I said, I won't read all of it, but she says, basically, last week, together with two other women, I started a change.org petition requesting Target to remove it. The reason behind it, the campaign was simple, because the game exists to make enjoyment out of the kind of abuse that I live through in real life for survivors of abuse. Then she goes through to say that it basically is violence against women, and the first person mode makes it even more realistic. Then she says that Target actually has the game advertised, GTA 5, next to Peppa the Pig. Now, this is, from what it looks like to me, it looks like a magazine article, kind of like an advert in a magazine. I can't really see because the photo's not that great, but that's what it looks like to me. Anyway, this is completely stupid, the whole advert thing, and I'll tell you why. Because to the extreme left, as I said, this is linked in the article itself, so you can check that out. But this extreme left-hand side, you've got Barbie dolls and Spider-Man. In the middle, rather, you have Peppa Pig, whatever, I don't know. Peppa Pig, Peppa Pig. It looks like Peppa Pig. Anyway. And then on the very right-hand side of this, like tri-column ad, you've got Grand Theft Auto 5. You see a problem there? Why have they done that? You've got... I don't know what the hell Peppa Pig is aimed at, to be honest, in terms of age. I don't have kids, I don't follow any of this crap, but let's assume it's aimed at like 10-year-olds under, roughly, I don't know. And you got Spider-Man. Spider-Man, to be honest, I love Spider-Man, and I'm definitely older than 10, let's put it that way, but let's assume, you know, Spider-Man, they're probably appealing for, like, once again, 10 to 15-year-olds or whatever else. I don't understand why the hell they've got GTA 5 there under toys. That's just really not... That's a crap ad. I don't know what the hell they were thinking of with toys. You really shouldn't be advertising GTA there because it's mature. It's rated 18+. But anyway, I have multiple issues with all of this. The first is that it's promoted, or the change.org is promoted as violence against women. Most of the time, you're not even shooting women in the game, at least for the object of the mission. You're, you know, trying to get away from law enforcement, you're trying to get away from other criminals, you're trying to save your friends from other criminals, you are trying to rob a car, whatever the hell the object of the mission is. Right? And that's assuming you're playing the game for the object of the mission. To be honest, a lot of the time when I'm playing GTA, it's literally just to drive about and just be like, I wonder what's over here. And just kind of explore. Or just try and break the game, or to fly a plane, or whatever the hell. And sometimes just do silly things. And I think sometimes it can look really beautiful. For example, if you happen to own it, put in the weather cheat. This is my own personal thing. Put in the weather cheat and just literally drive through the streets and kind of look around. It looks really beautiful. And I honestly think that. And it can be kind of cool. In other words, it's basically the purpose of the campaign, or the campaign itself, is rubbish. That's not the purpose of the game. The purpose of the game is not just to kill women and prostitutes. That's just really stupid. The other problem I have with this is the people who are playing it are clearly not gamers, or have been completely and utterly sensitized to everything. Because this game is not the only game where you can murder people. And worse, or not worse really, but just kind of standard, look at the amount of films that this does this with. There's so many films where innocent people just fall over, like ridiculously, like, how many people die in disaster movies? How many people die in, like, gangster movies or TV shows? Like The Walking Dead, how many kids have died in that? I won't give any more details because I don't want to cause spoilers, because I know people will be really upset. But how many children have fallen over in The Walking Dead? How many people have fallen over in, say, Hannibal? How many people have fallen over in, let's say, Dexter? How many people did Dexter kill? And how many people actually rooted for Dexter as well? That's the thing, he's a serial killer, but how many people did he take out? How many people did he murder? But how many people are actually rooting for Dexter to get away with the things he did? Most people, when they were watching the show, did not want him to get caught. I know I didn't, and most of them are people I know who watched Dexter, wanted Dexter to get away with it. That's kind of the point. And he, of course, was quite vicious. Hannibal, it's the same thing. I could certainly go through other movies, I could certainly go through other TV shows, but even other games like, say, Spec Ops: The Line. I won't give spoilers on this. I don't like spoiling stuff unless absolutely necessary, but there's an event that happens in Spec Ops: The Line, which is a really good game, by the way. Highly recommend it, especially if it goes on Steam sale. Very good, well worth playing. There's an event that happens in Spec Ops: The Line. I think it's... I'm not actually sure exactly where it is, but I think it's about halfway through the game. You'll know it when it happens anyway. But there's an event that happens in Spec Ops: The Line, and you immediately think, oh, crap. I can't believe my character and I just did that. I'm like, wow. I wasn't calling that. Oh, shit, kind of thing. And it did get some controversy when the game was released, and even so, it didn't get this level of controversy. I'm not a fan of this type of behaviour, Because video games, and I've done videos on this before, and I don't really want to repeat everything I've said, but there have been studies that demonstrate that violence in games does not affect real life. It just doesn't have a link. There's been no correlation. And in fact, they've actually found even, and I don't know how true this one is, but I found fewer studies on this, but they have found that the anger that gamers get when they're playing the game, and I think personally, I mean, I can only go through my own personal experience on this, so I'm not going to speak on behalf of you or anyone else, but my own personal experience would attest to this study. There was another study done, I don't have a link to it because it was a couple of days ago, and I didn't really think to keep the link. You know, you can't keep every bloody link, but you can probably Google it yourselves anyway. But there was a study that was done a couple of years, about a year back or something like that, and they basically found that the anger, the rage that most gamers experience isn't because of the content of a game. The frustration is usually temporary and generally because the game is failing or having difficulty on a particular section. In other words, it's more the fact that they're falling over on a section and they're screwing up, and that's what pisses people off. Which is like, really? I mean, I personally, I could have told you that for day. It's like, there was a very old meme back in the early 2000s, and I believe it originated with Counter-Strike. I could possibly be wrong with this. At least I saw it on Counter-Strike, and it said something on a Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike models. I think it was like maybe 1.6 models. Anyway, the meme said something along the lines of, games don't make you angry, lag makes you angry. And it's very true. Now, I do have to say that I have problems with Target. They should not have caved into this pressure. But it's also kind of down to the people who are signing this petition. But this isn't necessarily, I mean, a lot of people are saying, ignorant mothers, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, it's also kind of human nature. How many people do you notice link something on Facebook, but they do not check the facts? They just don't. And sometimes it's even linked to a satire site, but they're actually taking it kind of seriously. Like, they actually believe it, and they just do not do a fact check, and that's the problem. People do not factually check something before they support something, because most people just don't have the time or the willpower or whatever reason to do that bit of Googling. They're not internet savvy enough, maybe, for whatever reason. They just don't do the Google. And obviously that leads to difficulty knowing what the hell's going on. Now, I also heard some people saying, well, the box art was kind of the reason as well. I mean, the box art, obviously the box art of GTA 5, there's not even a breast on it, as far as I remember. I mean, I'm going to go back, I'm going to do a quick Google, but as far as I remember, box art. Apparently I cannot spell box anymore. Yeah, box art. Right, there we go. Yeah, there's, you probably remember it better than I do. Yeah, there we go. GTA 5 box art. Yeah, I didn't think so. The only woman I remember, the blonde lady, which I can't remember the name of offhand. There's no image of her breasts or anything like that. Her hand is basically covering pretty much half of the picture. So there's no, for the box art, it's nothing even slightly offensive, which I do kind of rate. Take-Two/Rockstar for that. But the reason, of course, they did that, ironically enough, is probably so people can't bitch over the box art, which obviously it could be really easy for them to do. So anyway, violence against women sucks. It does. It's a pet peeve of mine, and it doesn't have a place in our society, quite frankly. But at the same time, you can't blame a media like GTA 5 for promoting violence against women when, reality-wise, it's not the purpose of the game. There are considerably worse mediums out there, and it's clearly done in a way or by someone that doesn't understand the content or doesn't play games. And the worst part about this is it's not really constructive. Trying to get a game banned in a couple of stores doesn't really help anything. What I would have preferred is if this change.org instead, perhaps for the next GTA, maybe allowed you to play the game a little bit differently. Maybe they wanted to kind of open up avenues, maybe increase relationship options in GTA 5, so it's more, or GTA 6, so it's more down to the player or whatever. That I would be like, okay, I don't have a massive problem with that, and I think it would be kind of cool to be able to do it on GTA 6. But like this, it's just narrow-minded in my personal opinion. But I know this is a very touchy subject for many people. But let me know what your thoughts are. Anyway, take care and bye for now.